Hey everyone, Josh Baldwin here with Vegan Fit, and today I want to talk to you about sprints and try to get you to stop jogging. Alright, so I'm going to show you some footage here of some jogging, some running, and some sprinting. Now I'm showing you the running because that's what most people call sprinting, and that's not a sprint. So I'm going to show you what a real sprint looks like. Jogging is just terrible for you, so I'm going to talk you through this a little bit, show you the jog, why it's so bad for you, why you need to switch up to sprints, and we'll go from there. Alright, so let's talk about why jogging is not the best thing for you here. You can see I'm just kind of going along here. This is fairly easy. I could do this for a mile or so, or a couple miles if you train for it. It's pretty easy. The main thing here is you can see with these small steps and this casual pace, I'm going to be making a little bit of impact, right? So my foot is going to have to hit the ground, which is going to hurt a little bit on the ankles, a little bit on the knees, a little bit on the hips over time. You can see here I'm trying to take soft steps in this kind of slow motion footage, but there's only so much you can do, right? There's only so much you can do to eliminate that impact. So that's why we want to talk about sprinting and how when you're sprinting, it's all out and your rotation of the legs basically eliminates the impact because your feet are just kind of gliding across the ground. There's no up and down kind of vertical impact when you're sprinting. So this doesn't mean that you should never jog. Obviously, it's pretty good for the cardio over time, and it's something you can do anywhere, and sometimes you just might not have the energy for a real all-out sprint. However, if you're going to focus on jogging like this, just make sure you're working on the landings as soft as you can and try to absorb as much impact from the ground as you can. All right, now let's talk about running, which is not sprinting, by the way. You can see this footage here. I'm basically showing you what most people tell me is a sprint. They tell me, well, I sprinted 100 yards or I sprinted a half a mile. This is not a sprint. This is a run. This is probably about 75% effort. I'm pushing it a lot more than the jog, right? You can see I got a larger stride here. My arms are way more in movement, and I'm working a little bit harder for sure. I could not maintain this personally for 3 or 4 miles like I could a jog, but it is not a sprint. So just remember, a sprint is going to be all out, pushing it as hard as you can. This run here is something I would usually do for maybe about a minute and a half straight until I, need to take a small little break or something like that. But it is not a sprint. So let's go ahead and show some sprint footage, and I'll show you what a sprint really looks like. Okay, so this is a sprint. You see me working crazy hard here. Now, sprinting happens to be kind of one of my specialties. I played a lot of sports growing up, so you really learn in football and baseball that, you've got to run all out. You can't run at 80% or 90%. A sprint has to be everything you got. And you see, I just ran like 40, 50 yards, and I'm really out of breath here. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to take about 10 or 15 seconds maybe, and then I'm going to get right back to it. And this is on the way back. I probably don't have quite as much energy, but I'm still working absolutely as hard as I can, getting the heart rate up. And if you get done with a sprint like this, just 40, 50 yard dashes, believe me, your heart rate is going to be flying. You just have to find that top gear to push it. Oh, shit. So you can see, after you do a sprint like that, it's like you jog for an hour. It's killer on the cardio. So try to focus on sprints. You got to find that absolute top gear where you're just going 100% and you look really goofy like I just did. It's hard to do. So push yourself, shoot for like 40, 50 yards, and just go all out. So definitely let me know in the comments what you guys think about the video. If you try the sprints out, what your favorite type of difficult cardio is, let me know in the comments. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Shut down.